Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of NB Bass, and I'm your host Donald Patterson, joining you again for another week. Better late than never once again. It's been a roller coaster of a week, and I'm not going to make excuses or go into the whole story, but let's just say I haven't had a normal day yet this week. But I posted last night that I promised I'd get something up today, and I've got a little bit of time to stare out the windshield, so here I am getting something up again today. Before I go any further, as always, thanks must go out. Fish Bum Outfitters, Carrot Sticks Rods, Southern Yankee Baits, War Dog Lures, Northern Michigan Outfitters, and Hooked on Canadian Angling, and most importantly, my wife and my son. Without them, like I said, it just makes doing what I do next to impossible. So thank you to all of those companies, and of course to my wife and my son. Thanking my wife and my son actually leads into what I want to talk about today. Most of the time I talk about tournament angling, angling on a more serious level. I'm not going to necessarily say a higher level, because if you're a good angler, you're a good angler. You're going to catch, you're going to catch fish whether you're out fun fishing or tournament fishing. It's just part of what you do, part of who you are. What I want to talk about today is family. Being summer vacation, being that time of year, the kids are off of school, and most of us as tournament anglers, we have a hard time finding that balance. Well, every now and then you have to stop and pull back, and I've touched on this before, back in one of my earlier episodes, talking about finding those balances and getting it right. But I wanted to revisit it. I wanted to talk a little more in depth. And it doesn't matter, whether it's your kids are on summer vacation and you've got to find the time to spend with them, or your parents are getting up there in years, or grandparents or aunts or uncles or whoever it is. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing more important than our family. As much as we all want to be out on the water, we all want to be setting hooks and just having fun, your family, and family doesn't always mean blood. You guys know who your family is personally. It's your family is more important, whether it be family through blood or family through experience. Family is family, and I have people on both sides of that description. I have people that are family to me that don't share a gene. They do not share a bloodline, but they are just as much my family as people who do share my genetics. So that's to each one to determine individually which type of family you're talking about. But at the end of the day, it's those people, whether they be blood family or just family, they've made you the person you are today. They may be the people who got you into fishing, or maybe they sit back and scratch their heads and wonder, why do they do it? Why do they obsess so much about catching little green or little brown fish? Some people will understand why we do what we do, some people won't. But it doesn't matter whether they understand or not. Those people are still just as important. If you can get out on the water with them and enjoy the sport together, that's even better. That's absolutely golden. But at the end of the day, spend time with them. Find that balance. Make it right. Make life worth living. A lot can happen in a short period of time. You just never know what tomorrow brings, if tomorrow's going to bring. So don't wrap yourselves up in gotta fish. Yes, give me my option, I'd be on the water every day. give me the choice, I'd fish for a living. Tell me to choose between fishing and my family, and unfortunately, as much as I love to fish, that would come to an end. And I think a lot of us get our priorities backwards sometimes because of the competitive nature of what we do. The strive for trophies and checks and sponsorships. We get our priorities out of whack. And I'll be the first to admit, and I've admitted this before, I've done it myself. And it's sometimes still a struggle. I have to stop and check myself and say, hey, are you sure that's the right way to do this? Are you sure you're putting priorities in the right place? Luckily, knock on wood, so far this year, I think I have been. Maybe a little. I've walked a line a couple times, but for the most part, I think I've managed. But I've seen and heard tell of some events lately, both in my life and in the lives of my friends, that just made me think that this is something. I know it's not really fishing related, it's just life. I can relate it to fishing because fishing is what I love to do. Fishing and family are the two things that I cherish the most. So I guess I can relate it to fishing in that way. And I know not everyone's going to tune in and listen to this and actually listen to the whole episode. Because some people are going to say, well, why do I care what he thinks about how much time I spend with my family? And that's up to you. And I'm not saying you should care. I'm not saying anybody should care. But at the end of the day, this is something that's kind of stuck in my heart, and it's something that I felt maybe I could talk about and maybe touch one or two people. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. I mean, my show is not huge. I don't make money doing this show. I do it because I enjoy it. I do it because I feel like I could share a little bit of information every now and then. I don't have a lot of knowledge in my head. Most people would tell you it's pretty empty. But I enjoy doing it. I enjoy speaking. I enjoy communicating with people. So this is something that struck me. It's struck me as something that I should talk about. Maybe I'm wrong. If I am, so be it. It's one 15-minute segment. I'm sure there's been other stuff I've babbled about that people haven't been, edge of their seat listening. But at the end of the day, if it hits me, if it strikes my heart and strikes me as something I should talk about, I'm going to talk about it. That's the one beauty of how I do this show. It's not scripted. I don't advertise in advance what next week's show is going to be about. It's what's in my heart and in my mind at that point in time. And right now, this is it. So, as I said, it's been one of those weeks, folks. A lot of stuff going on, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's all bad stuff. There's been a lot of good stuff go on. It's just been a roller coaster of a week, and it's just got my head in a place, and this is important to me. So if I bore you and you tune out, I apologize. I hope you'll tune back in for the second segment of this week's show. But at the end of the day, I'm human, and I talk about what's in my heart and in my mind. So, if you can get out fishing with a family member every weekend, some weekends, once in a blue moon, like I said, I can tie this back to fishing. And it doesn't matter if fishing is your hobby, or if you've got four-wheelers or side-by-sides, or, you go to car shows or whatever. Just remember to spend some time with your loved ones. It's not all about you. It's not all about your hobby. There's other people involved too. I have been planning on, and there's the famous words, I plan on doing this, I plan on doing that. And here I am saying them. I've been planning on making plans to get out with some of my family members fishing this summer. I've got a couple family members who haven't fished. They've never fished for bass. Haven't fished in years. I just have to get off my ass, pardon my language, and make those plans instead of saying, well, I should, or I'm gonna. I just have to shut my mouth and do it. And we're all guilty of that. I don't know how many people have ever heard the expression, life is what happens when you're making plans. Well, sometimes we've got to stop making plans and just start doing. So if you get a chance this weekend, next weekend, this week coming, here in most Canadian provinces, this is a long weekend. Great opportunity to do it. Grab a family member, especially somebody that hasn't been out on the water in years. Show them why you do what you do. Show them why you love it so much. Get out on the water. Or whatever it is you do. If you're listening to this show, 9 chances to 10 you fish. Yeah, probably more than 9 chances to 10. But odds are you fish. So get out, show them why you do what you do. Make them understand why you love it so much. I feel like I'm going around in circles here, folks. I really do. I am going to have a second segment to this week's show where I'm going to move on to some more directly fishing-related topics. Before I go, though, I do have to say congratulations, and this kind of ties in as well, to last week's NBSFA winners, Rob and Robert Shields, a father and son team. Congratulations to them on winning the Macadavic Lake tournament. Like I said, we do have a few father and son teams that fish with us in the NBSFA, so in a way that ties into what I've been talking about. I want to thank everyone for listening. I want to thank you all for understanding that sometimes I'm just going to ramble. It is who I am. It is what I do. And hey, it is my show. I think. I haven't had anybody else record it yet, so at this point it is my show, and like I said, sometimes I just have to speak on what's in my heart, and today was one of those days. So I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank you all for taking a few minutes out of your day to spend with us. I am going to record a second segment later today. I apologize once again for the delays. Hopefully this won't become a habit. As I said, it's just been one of those weeks. So thanks again, Fish Bum Outfitters, Carrot Sticks Rods, Southern Yankee Baits, War Dog Lures, Northern Michigan Outfitters, Hooked on Canadian Angling, my wife, my son, all my family, all the people who stand behind me. Thank you to all of them. Thank you to all of you who take the time to listen. If you have any questions, comments, obviously this will be posted on our Facebook page. If you don't want to post publicly, email or message the Facebook page or email me, nbbassin, nbbassin @gmail.com. Shoot me a message, comments, anything at all. I'm open to criticism. I'm open to comments, good or bad. I'm normally not that hard to get along with, so if you'd like to see me change something, you want to hear me talk about something in particular, shoot me a message, drop me an email, and whatever it takes, get word through to me, and I'll do the best I can to incorporate that or to answer any questions you may have. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks again. We'll talk to you again later today. Set those hooks, keep those lines tight. Thank you.